Welcome.
Thank you.
It's so exciting to see you because your aunt did the makeup for the movie we're about to see. For
Yes, she
Francis
did.
D. What
Yes,
an
she did.
amazing coincidence.
And I've never seen it before, so I'm really excited.
Yeah, you
I wanna
and
see if
anybody
Doc
else
was
here got turned away at the TCM Film
Yes.
Festival?
Yes.
It was so popular. They had to show it twice and
And
still
got
people
turned
got
away.
turned
Yes,
away.
yes.
So it's quite a important screening we're doing here
I
today.
think so.
So, your aunt, Dottie Ponedel, made several movies with Francis D, and you've brought some beautiful pictures for us to see. This is your aunt here, and that's Francis, and that movie is
Wells Fargo?
Wells Fargo, which we've shown here, also
Uh-huh.
starred Joel McCrea.
Right.
Here they are again, and this was If I Were
King.
And
Obviously, Francis was not king.
no, Ronald Colman was the king.
Ah.
Yes, and even before finishing school, they made a wonderful classic film with Katharine Hepburn, and
Yes.
that was
Little Women.
Little Women.
Yes.
And you were
The
telling
original
me,
and the best.
yes, you were telling me that Frances really appreciated your aunt, not only because she did beautiful makeup, but she had another special skill that came in handy.
Francis appreciated Dot because Francis, coming in from here into Hollywood way back then, took a long time. And she was often, for that and other reasons, late to the set. And Dot was very quick. And Francis literally remembered her, Dot making her up and literally running along with her to get her to the set on time. So, stopping whatever else she was doing to make sure Francis was taken care of. So she really appreciated that.
Right. And your aunt's clientele, they were just a who's who of the golden age of Hollywood, so drop a few names.
Oh God, well, as you can see here, she actually started out, even before Dietrich, she started out with B.B. Daniels, Nancy Carroll, and then she was asked to try her magic on Dietrich and Mae West, and Carol Lombard, Tallulah Bankhead, you name it, Claudette Colbert, Stanwyck, Claudette Colbert, Paulette Goddard.
And then she became the personal makeup artist
For Judy Garland.
For Judy Garland
Yeah.
for many, many years.
Yeah.
Now, you have published a fabulous book. Before your aunt passed away, you helped her write her memoirs.
Mm-hmm.
And you've published this with the help of Danny
Danny
Miller,
Miller.
your co-author. It's called About Face.
He kept me on the straight and narrow so I wouldn't turn it into a novel.
Okay. I'd read the novel, I tell you. The Life and Times of Dottie Ponedel, makeup artist to the stars. And this is a must read if you love classic Hollywood. The stories are terrific. The photographs are amazing. And you will be out in the lobby with copies and sign it afterwards. What I like about this book, Meredith, is it's not a tell-all. It's not one of these nasty Hollywood books, because these clients were also Dottie's friends.
Right.
I mean, you could just tell. Look at the expression on the faces. The affection is so clear between Francis and Dottie right there. So the book is full of stories that Dottie wrote with love and respect and fun. And you get to see another side of a lot of these celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite ones is glamorous, sultry Dietrich had kind of a housefrau side to her.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. When if you were sick, if you didn't feel well, she'd bring you big steaming bowls of chicken soup. She'd cook for you. She'd go to your house and cook for you. She'd cook at her house. She'd just like taking care of the people. She no makeup, no hair, no curlers, no whatever. But if you needed something, she was there to help you out.
Yeah. Another stories that I enjoyed from the book, your aunt had a little bungalow in Beverly Hills, thanks to Marlene Dietrich getting her a contract with Paramount.
Right.
And your aunt described her house as a halfway house for the stars of the 1930s.
And the
this was
40s.
really, and 40s. This was a sanctuary for them. They would escape the limelight of Hollywood and go to Dot's house. And who were some of the people you might see if you wandered in?
Gable, who liked to cook. He'd like to make steaks on Dot's old stove, which unfortunately I didn't get to keep, but I wish I had.
Who
Joan
would he cook
Blondell.
for? Yeah.
Whoever showed up, Joan Blondell, namely. They were unknown, but they were an item back then, but they kept it quiet because they rendezvoused at my aunt's house. Gary Cooper.
He was trying to escape
Yes.
doing interviews
Yes.
And
he would,
portraits.
Dot's house.
Kind of a
Russ-
shy
I
guy,
never-
right?
From the time I moved in to the time my aunt died when we left, we didn't even know where the key to the front door was. It was all, the front door, the back door, people just walked in. It was open, come in the windows, whatever. And people did, believe me.
And when Judy Garland had insomnia,
she'd call, the phone would ring. To this day, it does not bother me when I hear the phone ring at 2, 3, 4 in the morning. It's like, oh, okay. I just, you get used to it. So the phone would ring, I would grab the phone, take it into Dot, and she would yak with Judy for an hour or so.
or Judy would stop by the deli,
Yeah.
all-night deli, and get corned beef sandwiches.
Judy and Joan both.
Yeah.
Joan Blondell was another big-time friend of my aunt's,
Yes.
and they would just, Sunday afternoons, sometimes there was all sorts of food in the house. Things
Yeah.
I wouldn't dare touch, but.
And then, even though Dottie was an acclaimed makeup artist and in great demand,
Mhm.
it was really difficult for her because the Hollywood makeup industry was male dominated.
Right.
And who went to bat to try to get her into the union?
It's an interesting story. I'll tell it briefly. Mae West and Dietrich. Dot had been several times the men in the union trying to get her tossed out for various and sundry untrue stories that they would make up about her. And the story always went, that Dot always told me, was that there was a weekend coming up, and she again was not allowed in the union. And Dietrich and West, at that point, who were the top money makers at Paramount, both said, if this woman is not allowed into the union by Monday, we're not coming to work.
Oh.
She was allowed into the union real quick. And I grew up hearing that story forever. So about 20 years ago, when I was here at the ranch with your grandmother and visiting, and I was asking her all sorts of questions, and I said, Francis, I've heard this story growing up, and blah, 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 and I told her the story. She said, oh my God, yes, she was there. She said the whole studio was in this big tither that these two stars were going to up and quit if they, not come to work if Dot wasn't in the union. And she also bawled me out, thank you very much, Wyatt. She said, if your aunt, because I said, really, that was true? Because I always thought Dot was making up stories. And she looked at me like a grandmother, mother would look. She said, oh no, if your aunt said it was so, it was so. She did not tell tales, she did not lie, we could trust her. And I'm thinking, I'm sorry.
So, definitely verified that story
Yes,
for
very much
Francis
verified
D.
that story.
Yes.
That and a few others that I won't talk about.
Yeah. Now, in the 1950s, sadly, your aunt developed multiple sclerosis and she was confined to her home.
Right.
And that's when these Hollywood stars showed their true loyalty. They would call her up, they would visit her. I'm sure it meant a great deal to her.
Oh, it did.
And who were some of her frequent visitors?
There were a lot of people that came to visit, and people on the phone like Dietrich and Goddard. Joan Blondell was in the house all the time. Judy was there quite frequently. Gail Patrick. And this one woman that would come fairly often, and she was a really nice lady, beautiful smile, very friendly, but her claim to fame to me was her husband was a cowboy, and his name was Joel McRae. And she would come in the house, and I would be all over this poor lady. I was 6, 7, 8, 9 years old.
Because you lived with your aunt.
Yes, I lived with my aunt, and I just loved it. Does he wear spurs? Does he wear chaps? What's the horse's name? Can he ride a cow? And Dot would go, shut up already. But she loved it. She was so patient with me, and I was just so excited that she married a cowboy. Wow. I didn't know who she was. I didn't know who any of them were. They were friends of my aunt's. I didn't know them from movie stars. They were just people who came to visit.
And this cowboy, you didn't know he was a movie star?
Not a chance. I was so excited that he had horses and cows, and oh my God.
Now, Jolin Francis wanted you to come visit the ranch when you were a child. It didn't work out. Your father was a makeup artist, and he was very busy.
Right.
But, like you mentioned, years later, you were able to come to the ranch after Joel had passed away.
Yeah, it was so exciting.
And spent time up at the house, and Wyatt just took you back, so I brought that, that brought back a lot of memories. And when you thank you, that's my signal. One story.
Okay.
When you were visiting Francis,
Yes.
those many years later, she showed you something very special that connected her with your Aunt Dottie. What was that?
She came out and showed me this big portfolio of gorgeous, gorgeous photographs of her in various poses, very glamour shots. They had been for an old magazine article back in the 30s. And she said, do you know why these are so special? And I said, no. She said, your aunt made me up for this photo shoot. And it was just so impressive. I never even connected Dot with doing anything like that, so I was very grateful to have seen
Was that from that shoot?
I have no idea.
It might have been.
No, I don't know. I didn't recognize that photo, but there was like headshots and whatever.
They're somewhere in the archive, right?
Yeah, yeah. She actually offered them to me, and I felt guilty that I shouldn't take them. I know.
You were being very gracious.
I was being very gracious.
Yeah.
Thank you for not taking it.
She actually had a biographer here at the time, and I didn't think it was my place to usurp his territory. I should have usurped it, huh?
Well, now let's see for ourselves the artistry of Dottie Ponedel.
Feel free to boo Dot if you don't like the makeup.
Makeup for Francis D. and Finishing School, and you will be in the lobby afterwards.
Yes, I will.
With this terrific book. You don't want to miss it up. The holidays are coming up. It will be a great present. And thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you.
Let's see it. Let's see
It
it.
is best part.
If you don't buy a ticket, yeah.
Congratulations.
Can you
Thank
turn it
you.
around?
Wyatt, that's for you.
Oh, you can't see
Put
her?
it on display. You're welcome.
Thank you all so much. So I'm gonna let Betsy take over, let you know what we're doing next, since I'm not exactly sure that
I know.
we're
Poor Brian, he doesn't, we're just telling him to do this, do that. But it all happens.
I
Okay,
usually just
we're
don't.
going to, first our resident photographer, Garth Dosett. Garth is going to take a picture of all the winners.
All the winners.
Yes, and then on your way out, please stop by and see Meredith. She's going to be out there to answer questions and sign books. And then there's plenty of time after you see her to go to our 3 venues. We have a dosage station at each one, the shop, the milk house, and
The bucket.
the milk house
Are there
inside.
cows in the milk house?
Are there any
Oh.
You'll have to go to.
You'll have to